My name is Matthew Coleman, and I got 37 years in the UAW, and I just got evicted from the senior citizen building. And I'm homeless now, and I need some assistance. But it's hard to get these days.
To me, this is my family. They love me. They make me laugh. I didn't have a smile on my face until I came here. And I appreciate every last one of them that works here for everything they've done for me, to smile and just giving me that hope, showing me that, things can get better.
It all began with a knock on the door. It was 1929. The stock market crashed and the Great Depression was choking the nation. There were no jobs and people were hungry. Desperate, someone knocked on the door of St. Bonaventure's Monastery on Mount Elliott Street in Detroit. The monastery had always been a sacred place where people were welcomed. The porter, a simple friar, opened the door. His name was Father Solanus Casey. He was known as someone who would listen. Later in life, he said, "Man's greatness lies in being faithful to the present moment." And on that day in 1929, Father Solanus was faithful to the present moment when he opened the door and saw a hungry person. He disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a hearty sandwich and a cup of coffee. More and more people came to the door seeking help. Father Solanus began giving away sandwiches to everyone that came. The gentle doorkeeper kept a ready supply in his office. Within a few weeks, crowds at the door grew so big the friars couldn't feed everyone with the food they had on hand. Father Herman Buss had an idea. He asked the secular Franciscans if the friars could use the hall in which they met to feed the growing numbers of the hungry. Not only was their hall turned into a dining room, but the secular Franciscans volunteered to prepare and serve the food. They had a kettle almost as tall as a man. The soup was more like a stew, loaded with meat and vegetables. Local merchants donated bread and all the ingredients necessary for the soup. By 1932, they were serving 100,000 meals a year. Father Solanus loved the soup kitchen, but he still had his porter duties at the monastery. He suggested to everyone who came to him for help, they give something back to God by helping out at the soup kitchen. Father Solanus had a great concern for people. In 1956, he told a newspaper reporter that he had two loves, the sick and the poor. From Father Solanus handing out sandwiches at the monastery door, the Capuchin Soup Kitchen has grown into a comprehensive outreach that serves more than 700,000 meals a year. The task for the staff and volunteers at the Capuchin Soup Kitchen is at once simple and difficult, bringing life to those who struggle as they walk with the poor and nurture their spirits.
This is the Connor Soup Kitchen. This is the busiest soup kitchen we have. The vast majority of the people here are working poor. About 25% of all the meals that we provide are provided to children. At some point, the parents have to make a decision to pay for heating or electricity or clothing or buy food.
My name is Stevie Washington, and I'm originally from Los Angeles. I came here because my life in LA was just like in a lot of shambles. I was involved in drugs. My mom said, well, why don't you go to Detroit and see can you make your life better? So I came here about 8 years ago, but I still fell back onto the drug scene. And I wind up falling really, really hard. I mean, I fell so hard I was sleeping in abandoned buildings. So I went to the mission and got involved with a program called CIC. It's Career Initiative Center, a program that was helping homeless men. I started going to get my GED. I used to come here as well as a client. Come here, I used to eat out there. I used to take a shower, and like I said, my life has been transformed. I'm in 5 years clean now. And it's ironic that I went through a program and then they were looking for somebody to work here. My counselor came and said, how would you like a job over at the Capuchins? And I couldn't believe it. I mean, the very place where I went, used to go to, and I said, awesome.
Hi, I'm George Gehrig. I'm the operations manager for the Capuchin Soup Kitchen, and I maintain and work at the Capuchin Services Center. This is the facility that we utilize to distribute non-prepared meals. So we're doing pantry foods here, We're doing clothing, and we're doing furniture and appliances for families that are coming out of shelters, families that are coming out of fires and other types of natural disasters. They come in here, they get to go shopping, the clothes are taken off the hangers, they're folded, they're put in a bag, and they're able to push that shopping cart right out to their car just like they would if they were shopping at a store. The only thing you don't see in here is a cash register. Everything that's done here is given away for free. Whether they're coming for food, for clothing, or for furniture and appliances, everyone that comes here meets with one of our emergency needs workers, maybe spends 10 or 15 minutes to make sure that there isn't other issues that they need to address that we may not be able to help them with. When a family comes in here, they're going to get a box of staple food items, about 40 pounds of items, things like peanut butter and jelly and crackers and spaghetti sauce, canned fruits and canned vegetables, grits or oatmeal, something for breakfast.
Get them flattened out.
Well, what happened at the soup kitchen was that people just keep coming and coming and coming. And the thought was that we wanted to do something that was proactive. And these guys have really wanted to start their own baking business. And so we thought, well, we could use the soup kitchen as a basis for that. So what they do is they bake all day on Saturday when the soup kitchen is closed, and they sell all of this in churches throughout the Archdiocese of Detroit. And I starting to make enough money, almost enough money to live on. So it's working out.
Another way the Capuchin Soup Kitchen confronts the problem of poverty is to reach out to men struggling with drug and alcohol abuse. Since the 1960s, the Jefferson House, a residential extended 8 to 12-month live-in recovery program, gives men a chance to reclaim their dignity after years of destructive behavior. Here, 12 men living in community are given the space to learn patience and the tools to understand their addictions in order to break the cycle of their insidious disease.
I'm Don Benner. I'm the program coordinator here. My job basically is to take care of the guys. Dental appointments, work assignments, doctors, any of their needs. I try to make sure they have it all. I went through the program, and the thing it gave me was hope, which I had never had. When I was out on the streets, I kept saying I was going to open a school of hard knocks to tell people what not to do. And I don't know, being through this and being out there for the 8 years, it's like easy for me now. Just to try to help them, let them know that it does take time. This is the one place that can really help you.
My name is Bill, and I've been at Jefferson House for about 2 months. Working in the soup kitchens, that really humbles me because that could have been me. It was just by the grace of God that I got in that first treatment center, and then that I was able to get in here, because, I mean, I'm sure some of them people would rather not be the way they are, but, you know, they don't either know where to go or they can't go. You know what I'm saying? So it was just by the grace of God that I'm not there, you know, and depending on where to take a shower and where to eat, you know, and it's just a blessing really to, you know, have a bed to lie in, because I could be sleeping outside. I'm not special.
Gardening is it's like a type of therapy, calming, and you take the time out to watch things grow slowly while time is moving so fast.
One of the things I love about our garden program is that it helps the kids just be so creative and so respectful of creation. And I can have some of the toughest kids go out there in that garden and they become a whole new person. And this is not a particularly gorgeous neighborhood, and yet they are so proud of the beauty they create out there.
It's very fun. You get to take stuff home when you plant it, and you have good friends here. But sometimes it's not all about the money to me. I just like working in the garden.
My name is Carl, and I came to the Capuchin Soup Kitchen to have a meal 2 years ago. And I saw that, you know, not enough help around. So I picked up a broom and a dustpan, and I started helping, and I've been here volunteering for 2 years. I fought a bat with bone cancer, and this place helped me along the way, and I feel in my heart that I'm just here. I enjoy and helping people and helping the kitchen along to stay above and stay afloat. I wanted to die. You know, I just didn't want to live anymore, you know, and But somehow I just couldn't give up. You know, my will was too strong, and I knew it was more than just myself keeping it that way.
Christ gave us an understanding of divine justice that is based on divine mercy. The heartbeat of the Incarnation is generosity and love. In Christ, we see a God so generous he throws everything away out of love. Christ moved beyond justice to generosity. Jesus took pity on the crowd's real need and called on his disciples to feed them. Jesus prayed for daily bread. Jesus defended those who, in their hunger, ate the grain growing in someone else's field. To live the gospel forces us to live with contradiction, for the gospel requires a faith which believes that when one has nothing, one has everything. Moreover, it asks us to count poverty as riches and humiliation as an honor. Service to the poor and lowly is not optional. It's a requirement for the follower of Christ. To turn your back on the poor is to turn your back on Jesus. Jesus denounced power, injustice, and poverty. The core of Christianity is about the cross, suffering, renunciation, and sharing what we have with others. The Capuchin Soup Kitchen exemplifies the very heartbeat of the Incarnation. They give away everything, sharing their lives with others.
We live in a society that measures your success and your usefulness and your value by what you have and what you do. And I think that that's where the folks here have reminded me that it's the value of a life is not about what you have or what you do or what degrees you have or any of that stuff. The bottom line is what you do with what you have as far as your love.
Some people ask, just what is the Capuchin Soup Kitchen? We do more than serve meals here. This place is really a place of friendship. It's a place where people get connected with each other. It's a place where people learn to care for each other. You know, it's one thing to serve meals. It's another thing to serve friends. And that's what we try to do. In the course of coming here, everybody sort of becomes a friend to each other. And that's what life is all about, isn't it? Doesn't matter what you got. You don't have friends, you don't have much. One thing's for sure, if you don't practice love, you lose it. And where love is, there is God.